I call Chris Bishop.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. What a depressing weekend it must have been for those opposite in Palmerston North. We just heard from Adrian that it's a sea of red. Well, I've got to say, sir, it might be a Labor city now, but it is a Labor city surrounded by a sea of blue. Now, let me just say to members opposite that Ian Lees-Galloway's words will come back to haunt him. They will come back to haunt him. He said the National Party will never, ever win Palmerston North. Well, I've got a message for Ian Lees-Galloway. John O'Naylor's coming for you. I'm coming for Trevor Mallard and Hutt South. Knock's coming for you and Port Hills, Ruth Dyson. We're all fighting hard for those seats. So those wards are going to come back to haunt the Labor Party. Ian Lees-Galloway's numbers are about as shonky, sir, as Grant Robertson's, because the size of the Labor conference in Palmerston North on the weekend was about the size of a National Party regional conference. And that was their national conference, sir. But no more talk about members who are irrelevant, sir. I want to talk in my brief contribution, sir, about the big divide in New Zealand politics. Because actually, the big divide in New Zealand politics these days is not about conservatism or liberalism. It's not about rural or urban divide, sir. It's not even about left or right these days. The real divide in this parliament, sir, is about what New Zealand's attitude should be to the outside world. And the question is this: does New Zealand's future lie as an open, confident trading nation connected to the global economy, knowing that welcoming foreign capital and labour drives increased prosperity and lifts our living standards? Or does New Zealand's future lie instead in lifting our shutters to the outside world, denying even the reality or the benefits of globalisation, and practising a form of protectionism that manifests itself, sir, at worst as economic vandalism and at best, as economic vandalism, and worst as a form of bigotry and even racism? Because as my colleague Todd Muller pointed out, sir, for 30 years there has been a bipartisan consensus in this House about that reality of the outside world, about the dismantling of Fortress New Zealand. And it is one of the Labor Party's greatest legacies to New Zealand that they started that process from 1984 onwards. They dismantled protectionism. They got rid of tariffs. They got rid of subsidies on agricultural products, sir. They opened New Zealand to the outside world. Well, how times have changed, sir, because it started back in 2008 with the outrageous decision by Labor to change the investment rules on a whim to stop the Canadian pension plan from investing, sir, in Auckland Airport. It continued in opposition when they turned their sights on foreign investment in farmland, sir, under Phil Goff's leadership, forgetting that foreign farm sales were 4 times what they were under Labor than what they are under National, and forgetting the enormous benefits that foreign investment brings to New Zealand, sir. And the nadir of this attack on foreign investment and on foreign migrants was Phil Twyford's utterly disgraceful and disreputable attack a few months ago on people of Chinese ethnicity. The absolute nadir. This from the party that in 2002 apologised to Chinese New Zealanders, sir, for the poll tax back in the 1860s. Well, what a disgrace, sir. And it's no surprise that the Labor Party has stopped talking about this recently. And sir, in some ways it is inevitable that the Labor Party would do this. They would capitulate to their own worst instincts. Under attack from the Green Party, which has never supported free trade, never supported an open New Zealand, despite the fact they like to come down here and preach about internationalism and those sort of things. They've never supported actual openness with the outside world. The Labor Party has been under attack on its left flank, so it's no surprise that they would capitulate, but it is very disgraceful. Ladies and Mr. Speaker, the modern-day Labor Party, I believe, sir, is no more than the political wing of the organised protest movement. The type of people who think an argument is just saying neoliberalism over again. The type of people who think you start an argument by talking about Crosby Textor. The type of people who oppose the Chinese free trade deal, who oppose the agricultural subsidies and tariff removal of the 1980s. The type of people who no doubt opposed closer economic relations in 1983. Sir, and the type of people who don't want us to sign the Trans-Pacific Partnership deal, which is the apex of trade and diplomacy of New Zealand foreign policy for 30 years. And this is the important point, and this is the critical question that confronts the Labor Party in this Parliament today. Which way is the Labor Party going to go on TPP? Is it going to back openness? Is it going to back globalisation? Is it going to back connecting New Zealand into the global economy, or is it going to give in to its worst instincts, continue to be a non-responsible party of government and back the protest movement and back people who've never had New Zealand's best interests, sir? It is absolutely, fundamentally in our best interest that the Labour Party signs TPP. It's a critical question for this Parliament and for this country as to whether or not they go for New Zealand or they go for protest.
Members, the time for this debate has expired. I call on Members' Order of the Day number 1.
Electricity Industry